Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. I'm here with Brandi Roberts, the old comedian slash podcaster.
Hi.
Tell everyone where you're from.
I am from a small place called Supply, North Carolina.
Supply, North Carolina? I don't even... What?
Don't even say it. It's like supply and demand. Like supply and demand.
Really?
Yes, like supply and demand.
Where's that at?
It's like in between Wilmington and Myrtle Beach. It's Brunswick County, but it's like a small town. It runs
Brunswick County. I think I got a ticket there. Interesting.
Yeah, they're good for this.
Because like once you start getting into Wilmington,
yeah,
the cops start showing up.
The speed limit changes drastically. Like you're going 70 and it's like 55. You're like, what?
What happened in between? I don't know.
Like there's no brakes for that. Like so
that's
you
crazy.
probably got
That's a really small town then.
Yeah, it really is small.
How was it growing up there? Like, was it a tough childhood?
Cool. I mean, like I grew up in an educational family. So my aunt was a teacher. My uncle was a superintendent, the first black superintendent of the county, and he was the only one that was ever there, I believe. Don't quote me, but yeah. So my grandma was a teacher. So being in that kind of household, academics was pushed. So it was like, I can't really have fun. You know what I'm saying? Right. I always knew I was creative. I knew that I liked doing things the unconventional way. I was that outgoing person, but my aunt was like, no, focus on school, focus on this. So I was like, okay. Gotcha. So I had to touch and go with like music and stuff. Like I played trumpet, I was in handbells, I did chorus, I was young Arthur and shit. Yeah, not even like trying to toot my own horn, but public schools was all right.
So you were in bands in school?
Yeah.
Did you play handbells in church? Because I know they have handbells.
No, we were actually it was an elective in middle school, and then like the teacher pick some people outside of that to go on trips and stuff, and I would do performances and stuff for school, so that was really cool. Then she retired, and like nobody ever else did handbells anymore, so I was like, but it was a really cool experience. I came to Raleigh once to see the Raleigh Ringers, and that was cool. So like that was like a big thing.
Yeah, that is like
they're like a major chorus. I mean, like a major choir, handbell choir. So
yeah,
that was cool.
That's very cool. Not a lot of people do that. You should pick that up again.
A squared. It was A squared B squared. That was my notes. So like it's weird playing handbells because like you would ring it to get your different sounds. You would ring it, hold your notes like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you press it back so it wouldn't ring. Then like I would pluck it to make the different sounds. Like for Christmas song, we would pluck them and then.
Oh, I didn't know about plucking.
Yeah, it's different things. You do a lot with a bell. You can ring my bell. Ring my bell. So that's how I learned to ring people bells.
All right, that's cool. Oh well, I don't think we mentioned this. Well, I think I did mention it. So you're a comedian.
Yeah.
Comedian, podcaster.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's the end of the show.
But yeah, I do those things. I'm not really like in it. I'm just starting, but I've always wanted to be on radio. Yeah. So
I think are you? Would you say that you're in the stages of like testing things out and seeing how things work and kind of like going from there?
I think I'm just in the point of executing my dreams now.
Yeah.
I've always known very early what I wanted to do, but the way life maneuvered me, I didn't really get to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, like, I went to school. I went to college for a little bit. I don't have my degree right now. I went to UNCG, really theatrical school, and, like, a liberal arts school. And, like, when I was going, I was extroverted my whole life. So when I went there, I really introverted myself. I was total opposite. Shut down. Gotcha. I became the person that I am today. The person that I always knew I was, you know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about that later. But anyways, I went to college, and I was like, I was just going with the motions, really. Yeah. And so, like, I was like, okay, this isn't for me. I started having, like, financial troubles and stuff, and, like, I just had to take some time off, and I didn't go back. So I came to Raleigh. I didn't want to go back home where there was less opportunity. I was like, my aunt lives here in Raleigh, so I'll go stay with her. Then that's kind of, I started working, got a job, serving, whatever. And then, like, I was like, okay, what's holding me back from doing my comedy? Like, just try it. Yeah. So I went to Good Nights, and then I did open mic, and I did another one, and then I did another one. Yeah. I was like, okay, all right, that's cool. And then, like, I started picking up my momentum. I still didn't know what the fuck I was doing with comedy. I was just like, I'm go up here and do what I think is funny and leave. Nobody was fucking with me or anything. I was like, okay. And then, like, after I was on a podcast in the beginning of the year, the Organized Filth Show. Right. And they had me on as like a aspiring comedian, and that was cool. So I was like, okay, yeah. I still didn't know who I was yet as a comedian or whatever. And I just went on trying to talk about what I wanted to do. And then I was like, okay, after that, I was like, okay, what else can I do? I always wanted to be on radio, so I was like, I tried to be on, like, get an internship at a radio station, but I was out of school, so I knew they probably weren't going to pick me, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I was like, okay, seen podcasts. I was listening to podcasts. I was like, why can't I just start my own?
Right.
Then things started happening. Like I was doing comedy, and like I went to like this talent meeting for this management company that fell through. But I ended up meeting the studio guy that I have now, and like he always wanted to get into podcasts. And I was like, okay, cool. So we sat down, met with him, and then like it was a really long time before I got to actually doing the podcast because. I mean, the podcast I do now, The Culture Enthusiast, with a K, by the way. So yeah, when I started, it was when I began it wasn't the Culture Enthusiast. It was going to be a comedy-based podcast.
Gotcha.
And it was going to be called Happy Hour.
All right.
Because it was going to be like, okay, a mixture of like comedy and like bartending, because I was a bartender. So I was like, happy hour, cool. Like I thought that was cool. Yeah. I had a initial co-host that was going to do it with me that fell through. And so I was like, okay, what do I want to do? I don't really want to box myself into just a comedy podcast. Right. I was like, okay, what else could I do? I like art. I love music. Music is my basis. I was in the choir as a child. My mom could sing. My sister could sing. I could sing a little bit, but I was nervous, so I like lost my voice. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how people, if you don't use it, you lose it. You know what I'm saying? I could still carry a tune every now and then, but I was like, okay. I love music though as a basis. I've always loved instrumentation and music and like writing. I wanted to be a producer at one point. My cousin's a rapper. I tried rapping at one point. So I've always had my hands in things, but I was never like, this is what I want to do, because I was never sure. I had to build that confidence up in myself. You know what I'm saying? But being in school, you know, I'm probably all over the place, but being in school, you know, I was the class clown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like I knew I was going to do something fun. Right. So I mean, once I realized I'm out of school, I don't really have anything else to lose right now. I'm just working a regular job. I was like, let's execute your dreams. And ever since I've done that, things have been doing as they should, like panning out. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. So you mentioned your aunt. And so
now, two separate aunts, though.
You have two separate aunts. And you grew up with them?
Yeah, my mom died in 2001. So that was pretty early. My sister was like 2 years old and stuff. So I ended up moving with my aunt. My aunt kind of like took us in. She didn't really want us to get sucked up into the system, which was okay. I mean, but like emotionally availability and stuff, she wasn't that. It was just like she's my teacher at home and at school. You know what I'm saying? So like I really just grew up on my own. Like I was my own person. Like I trusted myself. I built up my my wall and stuff, and I was like, I got to depend on me because nobody else is here for me. My dad was never in my life like that. My sister's dad was never in her life like that. So like it's me, you know what I'm saying? So everything that I am because of myself, you know what I'm saying? Not saying I appreciate the outside influences like, you know, people like you and stuff like that. Of course. But I mean, I've always grown on my own. So being that I knew I had to go get it myself, like I never want nobody to hand nothing to me. I never been that kind of person. Like
you pretty much had to grow up on had to be the adult.
Exactly, because my sister wasn't there. I mean, my sister, I was who she was looking up to, and I was unsure of what I wanted to do in life and stuff. But I wanted to let her know that it's to have a plan, to be secure in yourself, and just because, you know, these things happen to us, we still have a purpose here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like I had to just try to gauge that, and it was times where I didn't like love myself and stuff as I should have, or you know, losing your mom at an early age, like you never at a detrimental age. It wasn't like I was an adult through puberty with you. I didn't have that experience. Like, Mom, what I do with this? What my aunt was not that way. I had to call or Google or whatever. You know, and that's a sad story. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman's in the house with you, but you can't tell me the basic things I need to do as a woman. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, so you had to learn the hard way with everything, right?
So I've always been quote unquote self-made, you know what I'm saying? So
I always feel like I have to learn the hard way. It's
know?
Like, it's like a big mistake.
But appreciate it more when you have to learn the hard way, because it's trial and error, and nobody can take that from you.
That's true.
That's the thing, because if people like to hang stuff over your head. I learned that early too. That's why I never want nobody to hand nothing to me. People hold stuff over people's heads, and I don't like that. If you do something genuinely for me, do it genuinely because you want to. Don't do it because you feel like you're obligated to, or you're gonna bring it up later. Like, nah, don't do that. Yeah. I'm a caring person out of my heart because I've been there when nobody was there for me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like, you know, when people do stuff, I'm grateful. I overextend sometimes, you know, just because. But I mean, you know, you just life humbles you early. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I just learned to go with the punches. And I mean, I'm not my best every day, but I definitely have a great energy that I think has made me resilient over time. Yeah. And like it's only gonna get better.
I think your heart's in the right place.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, your intent is pure.
Thank you so much. I got baptized early. Good. Still a sinner.
I mean, I didn't have. I still had
you.
my parents and stuff like that. But my mom and my sister had to go back to Venezuela when I was around like 11,
Wow.
12 years old, because they were trying to get their citizenship. In order to complete it, the government pretty much said that everyone had to go except for one parent, because I was the one born here. And so I grew up with an abusive dad, which
Wow.
me and my dad are cool now. We're like best friends, you know. Well,
Wow.
I wouldn't say best friends, but we get along really
Yeah.
well. But at the time, growing up, getting abused every single day, and my mom was like my only support, and so having her leave, it's just like I had to grow up fast. So I had to learn how to do laundry, I had to learn how to cook, I had to do everything, and so I had to grow up really fast. So yeah, and
so
then
you a husband.
I was a husband, yeah, to my dad, I guess. But they came back on Christmas night, which was
Wow.
awesome. Very cool.
That's a great gift.
Yeah, it is a great gift,
For
isn't it? So growing up without your mom, was your dad in the picture?
In and out, but like not enough to where it was significant. And like he tries to call me now, and like it's like I kind of got over you not being there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't hate you or anything. I made my own peace with the situation, because for one, you don't know how to be a parent. I had to learn that you don't know how to be a parent. You know what I'm saying? You had a child, you didn't know how to raise it. You know what I'm saying? That's your issue you have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made peace with it. You weren't able to be there for me, and that's okay. I get it. But don't try to make me feel bad. Like, he calls me sometimes and it's like, I miss your dad. And it's like, you can't really miss anything you never really had. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, not trying to be disrespectful in no way.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, my thought process, my emotionality, how I know I never felt anything, but you not being there. So, I mean, I'm kind of okay with it now. It makes it awkward. Like, oh, you want to be here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really rather
you don't know him. Right?
Exactly. And
So-
like I said, he always asked me, do I love him? And I'm like, I got a love for you because you did create me. Like, I'm half of your DNA, good and bad. You know what I'm saying? But as in, like, love you, like, affection-wise, no, because I never had that relationship to form to say I love you. You know what I'm saying? You love me because you love me because I'm your child. You know, I'm your byproduct. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so you have to in a way. Like, but I mean, you weren't that what you should have been. So I can't really. I mean, it's lost time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you ever blame your parents when you were little? Like growing up and stuff like that? I'd be like, I wish my parents were.
My mom was really transparent for the little bit of time that I did see. I learned a lot from her. She was a very resilient, strong woman. She could sing like nobody's business, for real. Nice. She could really blow. And she was like a deputy at the sheriff and stuff. And criminals to this day from back home be like, you Kim's daughter? And I'd be like, yeah. Be like, yeah. She'd be like, oh, she ain't take no mess. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they still remember her. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, she always, I mean, she picked kind of bad men and stuff like that. My dad and, whatever. But, I mean, like, early on, I was so hip to that. Like as a youth, I knew a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like, I mean, like I had my woes and stuff. I was kind of like molested and shit when I was younger and stuff. I never told my mom. I kind of feel bad about that, but I feel like as a child, you don't really know how to go about it. Like you don't know. You don't
know
really
how to process that.
You know what's going on, but you don't really know until
Yeah.
later on. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's whatever. But I mean, it was
now
like,
once you noticed, did that start to affect you, like depression wise and all that stuff?
I mean, like I just didn't really know how to deal with like relationships in general. Like, how do you? What are good qualities in people? Because I've never had a good dad. I never really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah.
and I feel like guys at a young, early age, not because they're trying to do it on purpose, but they don't know how to approach or what they're looking for in general. Anyway, they just want an attachment. You know what I'm saying? So they know how to manipulate your emotions to make you feel some type of way because they need that presence. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like,
not all guys.
Yeah. Not all guys. I'm just saying, like, as a youth, like, you just realize that guys ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you have a penis, you have to have that energy released. You know what I'm saying? Women don't have to be that way. We only connect with you because we're emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a while for a woman to peel back her layers and get vulnerable with you. You know what I'm saying? At an early age, I was like, I don't really like fucking with these fucking niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at a young age, I was like, after a while, I seen enough of the bad stuff. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm worth more than just doing because this is what I need right now. I know that this in the long run you don't care about me, so why would I? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nah, it's not worth it.
No.
So I mean, I don't know what you asked me, but I can't afford therapy, man. Like, what the fuck?
So, well, I mean,
That's why I do comedy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, I think comedy is a great therapy for you. I mean, I really think you should. Yeah, there you go. I think you should do acting.
Yeah, I want to really get to that point.
Yeah,
I can cry on spot now.
Yeah, there you go.
Like if I want you, like if I think about
that's all acting is involved in. You know,
just crying on cue.
Just crying on cue. You're a great actor. You're a great actor.
Thank you for this award.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just cry in like 3 different movies. Like you gotta cry in an intense drama. You gotta cry in like a real drama, like a sad drama. And then you gotta cry in like a cooking movie.
Yeah, a cooking movie.
A romantic comedy. All romantic comedies are about food.
Cry in the food, make it salty.
They were like some fancy white wine and people crying.
Yeah, that's right.
On a patio.
Yeah, with a nice view.
Yeah. And the sun's always setting.
Right.
And the credits roll.
Yeah.
You're like, beautiful,
Fades
beautiful.
Out. Yeah, maybe there's a dog or something. Lassie's around. Lassie's always around.
That's funny.
Okay, so you grew up pretty much on your own. And then once you got to, when did you leave your aunt's house?
Well, my aunt Stephanie was the woman that kind of raised us, took us in and stuff. When I went to college, I graduated high school in 2012, and I got accepted to everywhere I applied to. I didn't apply to any black schools, and that's not because I'm racist. I just felt like, no, but for real, like I grew up in like a diverse place. Like white people, we had the beach, we had like, you know what I'm saying, we had the hood right there. We had like the hood was really like right beside our high school, for real.
Gotcha.
Like quote unquote hood, like you know. But I mean, it was right there. So like I always felt like I should go to a diverse place. I didn't know how to be around all black people. I never been in that environment, so I felt like I would be really odd. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I want to go to a well-rounded space. I applied to ECU, got into there. Didn't want to go there because I'm prone to alcoholism, so I didn't want to go there. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad's alcoholic, but it's easy. And I was bartending and shit, and then like I was like, nah. I got accepted into where else did I got UNCG. That's where I decided to go. Yeah. And I got accepted into one more space.
Now, why college though?
Yeah.
Why college?
Oh, why college?
Why did you want to go to college?
Because that was my way out. I wasn't happy at home, and there was no opportunity where I was. You know what I'm saying? And my aunt, there was no relationship really there for us. Like I learned early that we were not emotionally connected. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, I've been waiting to get out of this situation to go live my life. You know what I'm saying? She was turned really religious on me too, and so that was really bad because like when somebody tries to overbear you with religion, it kind of makes you retreat from it when you get older because you feel the negative vibes from it. You know what I'm saying? Like always making me feel like I'm a bad person. That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? I'm very much secure with me, and I didn't feel secure with myself because they were telling me that I wasn't okay. So I didn't like that, and I wanted to run as far as I could and get away from that. So that's what I did. I went to school and I was like, I want to go somewhere where I know she's not going to drive.
Did you ever try to like try to make it their way?
What do you mean?
Like if they want you to be more Christian, did you try to be more Christian at first, or did you just deny it like at first? You know what I mean? That's as an example.
I was always I wouldn't say I didn't believe in a higher power.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be Christian. It's just like certain things that they wanted you to do. Did you try to please them, I guess you could say? In
a way, I did kind of, but after a while, it was kind of like they'd never be satisfied. So I got over that quickly. Like, I don't kiss too much ass, you know what I'm saying? I don't really do too much of that because people don't, you know what I'm saying? They only want more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you're never going to be satisfied, I'm not going to keep breaking myself down to help you or make you pacify you rather. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, I mean... After I realized who I was, you know what I'm saying? When I say who I was, I'm gay. Well, I would say some of my aunts are still making me being bisexual, which I don't know. I'm not going to say I'll never fall on a dick again, but I'm just saying I'm for women right now. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, like, it's like, okay. But, I mean, like, I got to go to college and become who I wanted to be, like who I always knew I was. Like, in my insides, I always knew that I was more tomboyish. And my aunt never gave me the opportunity to try that out or even embracing it, that I just had to be that cookie cutter girl, go to church, you know what I'm saying, do this. What happens in my house stays in my house type stuff. And I was boxed in, like I was closed in. I had nobody. I had friends, but nobody I felt like I talked to like open, like, you know what I'm saying, like, or without judging me and stuff, or like telling it again to somebody else. And they're getting around because we're in a small space. So if I tell somebody, they probably tell it, and then my aunt be like, "Why are you talking about what my house?" Right, like, so it's like, for just imagine like growing up like that for a long ass time, like 10+ years, and you feel like you're by yourself. That is so crazy. Like, I was going crazy on the inside, like, for real.
Yeah, it makes you lonely.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, but being
So what do you do at those times?
What was I doing? I listened to music a lot. Listen to a lot of music. I was a music junkie. Like, listen to so much stuff. Like, that's why I like love music so much. Like, I'm surprised.
I think that's like something that I went through. I mean, well, with my abusive dad and stuff like that. So I had to walk on eggshells like my whole life, like my whole childhood, and pretty much the only thing that I would do to feel good was listen to Michael Jackson or like watch Ace Ventura or something like that. So I definitely can relate to that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, my granddad. I love, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love aspects of Christianity, but as I've gotten older, I realize that religion really does divide more than it does bring people together. I think the core principles of every religion, I don't know enough about every religion, but I know just the basis of most religions are, the truth will set you free, kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like, be who you are, love is love, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you cultivate those positive energies, then good things will happen to you, you know what I'm saying, that's just the basis of everything.
Yeah.
So, like, if that's the commonality, then, why are we trying to say, like, you're the sinner, you're this, you're that? If somebody created me, don't you think they would know my bad parts as well as my good parts? You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't say it's okay for some things to be a part of me and not okay for others. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you created me, you had a hand in all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, me better than I know myself. So, like, I don't really understand why you're trying to, take away from that. But, I mean, I made my own peace with that situation, too. She doesn't really hit me up like that. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I never was really a religious person either.
Can't wait to be like, I'm rich, bitch!
In your face! In your face! Motherfucker! Yeah, I got you. I'm waiting for that part, too. So you went to college?
I did.
How was that?
Was
it hard? I mean, have you always done good in school? Because you did grow up in an academic background, right?
Yeah, and I started fucking up in college, and I think it was because of my, just things were happening, and I wasn't really, invested in what I was doing, because everything else, I had been growing up for so long, I had to actually be an adult, and I wasn't really ready to be an adult.
Yeah.
But I had to, because nobody else was supporting me, you know what I'm saying? So I had to, choose, do I want to survive or do I want to go to school? And it was like, I kind of got to survive,
Yeah. Especially if you don't know what you want to do.
Exactly. I mean, I was majoring in communications. I knew if I majored in communications, concentration in media studies, I'd get on the radio. You know what I'm saying? That would be good on paper. You know what I'm saying? So that was my kind of logical plan, but it didn't go the cookie cutter way like I thought it was gonna go. Like, you got to go to college, you got to take a whole bunch of bullshit classes. You know what I'm saying, to get to your major, which is just like public.
That's the one thing I hate about school.
Exactly.
It's like it's not practical.
It's
really not practical to the everyday life.
Now, me sitting here looking at a book, reading a textbook classroom, I can't learn that way. I learned early. I have to be hands-on. I have to be in my face. You got to teach me. You got to show me. I got to do it myself. I learn like that. I have to immerse myself in. I like to read, though. Don't get me wrong. I like to read. But I just can't do just take a test. I can't do that.
Yeah, it's not.
I disengage. I get bored.
Yeah.
And I need to
get
be
bored
engaged.
Fast.
Exactly. And you're in a class all the time for lectures, and all they doing is lecturing. All they doing is lecturing. Like.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is not intriguing.
No, it's not. I wish they would. I mean, I think in Switzerland they changed it to where they don't have traditional school, and they don't have math class or history class and stuff like that. They do something different, and they start school at 10 a.m. and end at 2 or something like that. And they have higher scores than everyone.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
They're getting with what's going on now instead of everyone else just doing the practical. I mean, doing the traditional route of school, which is not working at all. And school is, I've seen it. School is not making much of a difference anymore. People are starting to realize that school is.
You can learn outside of school. You don't have to.
Absolutely.
Be a degree.
Especially with the internet going around. You know.
Exactly. If you don't take advantage of the internet, I think it's the best time to be learning and perfecting your craft now, because knowledge is so accessible right now. You don't have to be in school. That's not an excuse anymore. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I don't have my degree doesn't mean I'm not necessarily learning. I go to the library every day. I check out books. I have 5 books right now.
Oh yeah. I'm not a reader. I just can't read.
2. And there are various things. I like poetry, so I read Maya Angelou. I have a Maya Angelou book checked out right now.
Yeah, I've heard that book. That was I heard it was awesome.
Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey.
I heard
that's what I have. She wrote that book for Oprah, which is really good. It's a bunch of little tidbits about life and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm reading James Baldwin. This is pretty good.
Cool.
I have an Ellen book, which is cool because I like Ellen. I feel like I channel her in my inner lesbian kind of. It's like started off as Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres, right?
Yeah. Ellen DeGeneres. That's the only gay Ellen I know.
Same here. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
But Whoopi Goldberg too. I like her stuff.
I'm constantly learning too. I mean, it's an everyday process of just learning, and you're learning what you love is what makes the big difference. But you also have to learn, not just in your craft, but as a person as well. You have to learn, and you have to just get more deep. The more you know yourself, the more you're more self-aware with yourself, then you would be able to flourish in everything else because you know yourself so much that you'll be able to guide yourself when something happens. You know which direction to go into because you know yourself.
I feel like college really is that for people. Like it's that who am I really? Like you get to college and you're by yourself. You don't know anybody. It's like, okay, who am I going to be? Am I going to shrink or am I going to sink or am I going to swim? You know what I'm saying? And then the aspect of me being up, I had some hard times in college. Like I started working. I had paid off. I had got a car. I had to get a car because I didn't have a car. My second year of school, the first year I went, didn't have a car. That was cool, riding back and forth on the buses and stuff. That was okay. Second year of college, it was like, okay, my aunt's not supporting me. I need to get a job for one. I need a car because nobody's going to keep taking me back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to grow up. I had to make a decision. I had to get a car. I got a car. I paid that car off in 1 year.
Nice.
1 year. I worked my ass off.
Yeah, I bet.
I worked at McDonald's. I had to be to work. I would have to be to work at 5 a.m. And before I had got that job, I was just going off of like my student aid, like my free fund checks or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I was making my payments, but then after that ran out, and I went for a time where I didn't have no job before I got that McDonald's job, and like I was having to go to like the pantry at like a little church because I didn't have money. You know what I'm saying? And like I was never the person that like, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Because I'm so independent. For one, that was kind of prideful of me, being immature. But I always wanted to get it by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like it would be too much for me to just constantly keep asking. So I just had to take that, and I grew with it, and I got my job, and it was hard for me to keep working full time and then be going to school. Like that's real. People that do that, I salute them.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing.
Yeah.
College is hard. Like the workload is crazy. They act like you don't have a life. They act like you do not have a life outside of these 50 minutes. Like
I'm not really sure about how traditional college goes because I went to a 1 year college, but
really?
we did have classes like 50, 60 hours a week. So it was 4 hours of lecture and 4 hours of hands-on.
But you're doing it with what you want to do. Though.
Exactly.
You have to go like 3 years of doing bullshit and then go to do what you want to do. So you're stressed out the whole time about extra shit, and then you have to stress out about the actual shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. So then I ended up like financial woes. I started fucking up in school. Like I went to summer school and stuff. I was going to summer school because I didn't want to go home, not because I wanted to go to school. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wanted to stay in that other environment where I could just be by myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew if I went back, it would be a negative. You know what I'm saying? So I just stayed, and then like I was working, but then I wasn't really taking school seriously. But like other things were happening where I wasn't really focusing on my work. So I started failing. I failed one summer class. And I was like, okay, I can shake that one off. Failed another one. And then I was like, okay, you got to be on probation. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, I'll sit out. And I just didn't go back.
Gotcha.
And it was like I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Came to Raleigh.
Why didn't you go back? Like, what was the decision there?
I don't know. Why did I not go back?
I feel like it was because, from what you told me, I feel like it was because you still didn't know what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a drive to keep doing it.
And I felt disconnected from some of the people that I had grew close to in school too. So if I went back, I feel like I'd be starting over all over again. And so like I didn't really want to do that. And then like I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew about like comedy and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, Raleigh has an actual comedy scene that's kind of going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see.
Now, what's up with you in comedy? How did that spark an interest?
I was class clown in high school. I got the superlative, so I've always been funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't hard for me to be extroverted and make people laugh. I like making people laugh. I like making people happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because even though I wasn't happy, I like seeing other people happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's always me being selfless or whatever. Yeah. But like I just liked it, and then like eventually, like I was like, okay. Watching, Wayans Brothers. I loved In Living Color. I loved SNL. Yeah. I loved Jim Carrey. Like I love Jim Carrey stuff like The Mask and like Fun with Dick and Jane, and like I just love how he was theatrical, Dumb and Dumber. All that shit. I liked it, and like Queen Latifah was funny to me. Like you know what I'm saying, and like I just loved Bernie Mac, his nonchalant, like I don't give a fuck what you think type shit.
Yeah.
Like people having attributes.
That's like the definition of raw, right there.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Attributes that I didn't have that I wanted to have. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, I can stand for something. I never. Let me say it like this: I never felt like I was heard as a child, and I felt like me being on radio, me doing comedy would be my story being told because nobody's gonna tell it for me. You
That's
know
the
what
same with me. Like I grew up all my life, like my voice, I was always quiet because after my mom and my sister left, I became really introverted, and so I didn't feel like I was accepted anywhere. Even the friends that I had, they weren't my group of friends really.
Exactly.
I mean, but I still made it a point to be friends with them because I wanted to be accepted, but that it wasn't working.
And now I'm older. Half the people that they don't even like. I mean, they might feel some type of way, but I stutter sometimes. I'm sorry.
You're good.
My brain goes so fast. It's like
yeah,
like, bleep bleep bleep. bleep, bleep, bleep. That's all, folks. But like people that like were my friends in like elementary, middle school, I mean, I talk to like a handful of them right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even like on an everyday basis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
just
like,
once in a while.
And then like me coming out is like gay. I kind of came out like I'm out. Like I'm not gonna ask you to accept me. I didn't say, hey, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I just said this is who I am now. I'm dating a girl. I dated a girl last year. It ended whatever. But like I learned so much about myself just as I got out into the world. I just learned to accept who I was, own it, and be that. Like you know what I'm saying? If I'm secure in me, nobody else can take that from me.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. When did you come out?
I'm like my friends in college, like my friends like Twan and them, Antoine and them, they kind of knew that I was gay before I came out. Like I kind of started dressing like a tomboy.
Yeah.
And they were like, some days they'd be like, Brandi, you like 50% gay today, and I would laugh and I'd be like, yeah, because I was still like kind of like trying to mess with guys or whatever.
Right.
But like it was like I'm not into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always felt attracted to women. Like even earlier, like even in middle school and stuff, like women were coming on to me. I didn't know how to deal with this in my pre-adolescent vagina. They were like I mean some of them have kids now, which is crazy, but like they were like coming on to me and stuff, and like I didn't realize it then until I was older. Like what? Maybe you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but I knew I couldn't come out because my aunt was religious for one. She was not gonna come out. She was not gonna accept that. So like, and then they were kind of like. Maybe that's why I felt like they were trying to make me get prayed for so much, because I felt like they were like trying to pray the gay away early, and I would be like, when I would get prayed for, I'd be like, if it's really real, just take it from me, take it from me. And like, it didn't go. So I was like, okay, well, if it's still here, like, you know what I'm saying, it's got to be who I'm supposed to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have dreams about my first girlfriend and shit at home. And like I was like, is she gonna be a bad bitch? And I mean, my first girlfriend was a bad bitch, so maybe I spoke that into existence. But like I kind of came out like, okay, I just changed. I just started adapting to my tomboy ways. Everything that I couldn't do as a child, I just started doing it. Like you know what I'm saying, like wearing the basketball shorts, wearing the hoodies, wearing that.
How are people taking it?
And they were cool. Like I mean, like I was just like, okay, like yeah, this is me. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Whatever. And then like they were like, okay, this is what you want to do. Like my aunt, when I first actually started dating a girl last year, my aunt Tammy, she's probably my favorite aunt. Like she's accepted me in the midst of everything. Like even growing up religious, like Christian background and stuff.
Yeah.
She always gave me the space to where I could be myself and never like. She would voice her opinion, but not make me feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? So like. When I kind of came out, I was like, okay. She was like, well, do you like girls? And I was like, yeah. But she always banked on me being bisexual. Like, she was like, I still believe you're bisexual. I was like, okay, like, whatever. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, being a female, you still have those bodily, reactions. But it's like, okay, this is not, like, if it was to go down, you would be like, this is awkward. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so, like, you got to be, like, really attractive. You know what I'm saying? Or like really connect. Or, like, really connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really like, I like actually liking people. I don't just fuck people for fucking. I actually like to invest myself into people. Because I like that.
Because you're sensitive and you have a heart.
Thank you. I'm a Virgo, so whatever that means.
Thought you were gonna know.
But like coming out or whatever, my aunt was like, I don't really agree with it or whatever. And then I had my girlfriend, and then like it was like, okay, I'm out now. I had my first when I first came to Raleigh, I met my first like gay friend. Her name was AJ. Shout out to her. We don't really talk like that anymore, but like she was out. Like she was like the manly like type. Like she was taking like I don't mean like no shade or anything like to like but she was taking like hormones and stuff. Like she was like.
All right.
Like
really trying to transform it.
But I don't think she was trying to be transgender. She just wanted to be masculine. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but she was the one that like kind of was like, yeah, like I accept you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? Be you. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, all right, I watched her and how she was confident in the midst of all that, and then was like, okay, maybe I can do this. So then I cut my hair. I had like a short little afro, curly afro, and I was tapered in the back, and I had my little, my hair was cute, you know what I'm saying? I was still like, I was like borderline though, like I look like a girl, but I was still like a boy, right. So it was like, okay.
Did you ever have any like backlash, like from people like, oh, you're so good, and stuff like that?
Nope, not
I don't mean it like that. You know what I mean?
Like not directly, like you know what I'm saying, but like not directly, like nobody ever was like, like I'm against you being like, you
gotcha.
Know? I think everybody,
that's good.
I think everybody like kind of knew, you know what I'm saying? They just were waiting to see if I was gonna go with it, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So it's okay.
I guess the clothes was a big hint for them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I mean, like even when I first came out there, when I would go home, I would dress like kind of like borderline. I would dress like kind of like I wear like a flowery blouse, but I wear like pants and shirt, like sneakers and stuff. It's just something that's comfortable for me because I didn't want people to ask me too many questions. You know what I'm saying? Right. But now I don't really care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's good. You embrace it.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So you left college. And then what was the next step for you?
I went to Raleigh, came here.
To Raleigh, and then you just started doing
serving.
Your own thing.
I was working at Chili's Grill and Bar. Turned 21, started bartending, so that was really a lot of money. Yeah. And then I started doing comedy. And, I mean, just watching stand-up every day. Like, I was watching, like, a new special on Netflix every day. Mm-hmm. Like, somebody that I didn't know. I would just watch it to see what they were doing. What were they bringing that was funny? Yeah. Everybody pretty much made me laugh. Not like knee slapper laugh, but, like, they made me laugh once. I'd be like, okay, what are they bringing to the table that's keeping this audience intrigued? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, That's what I used to do with acting. I used to, in the beginning when I first started, I used to watch videos, interviews, and acting, and just testing things out and then picking up little things here and there. That's what's always like intriguing.
Watching who you want to be like.
Yeah,
it's important.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's it. And I was trying to write a little bit. I didn't really know how much writing comedy required until like I started actually doing this shit. And they were like, oh, you got to start writing. I was like, oh, you just can't go up there and freestyle? Like, yeah. And then they were like, nah, you got to start writing them jokes. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And like, I used to write, but like I stopped because I guess I was uninspired or whatever. Like I just had a lot of things. Like the relationship I had with my ex-girlfriend or whatever, I learned a lot. I came out and like I kind of got to be who I was, and like in a way we did love each other, but like we had a lot of growing up to do. Yeah. So like we ended on like bad terms, and I feel bad because we were really close. Like that was like my best friend. Like she got to grow with me, and like you know what I'm saying, like doing all this, coming out and like being okay with being a woman and stuff. Like I had to be confident in myself as well as confident in our relationship. You know what I'm saying? That was new for me. Like going out here and having a fine ass girl, and these guys see me all the time. They try me like all the time. Like I'd be like, oh, are you serious right now? Like, I mean, she was beautiful ass girl. Like, you know, but I mean, that's not why. I mean, I did like her because, I mean, you know, she was beautiful, but it was more than that for me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so like people would come out and they were like, oh, that's your girl. And I'd be like, yeah, like, you know, being at Chili's and stuff, they really accepted me for who I was. Like, I like being in environments where I feel like I'm welcome. And like when I felt like I treated Raleigh like my new starting over. You know, I came here and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this thing for real now. You know what I'm saying? And I just started doing everything that I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did, too. Because, like, I went to Full Sail. You know, that was at my lowest.
I was going to go there, dude.
Were you?
Yeah.
For what?
I was going to be a producer at one point. Okay. I had a keyboard and everything. I would be at home making beats and
on
shit.
The first month of Full Sail, there was, like, 130 people there. And the teacher was like, if you're here to be a producer, you should leave now.
Oh, really? Glad I didn't sign up.
And the next month, there was only like 80 people. Oh, or no, like 60 people, or something like that. But because everyone wanted to be a producer, but that wasn't the place for being a producer. Now it is. I think they have like a producing degree now or something like that.
That's cool.
But fuck, what was I gonna say? So you
fuck right in the pussy.
That's old.
I know,
You're
right?
gonna bring it back?
Yo, that's actually, I don't know if you watch American, I know they might be off the record or whatever, but American Horror Story, they're doing like a political like themed season this time, and there's a reporter, she's a black lady, but like they were like making a spoof of that, like she went crazy, really? Like because like they kept doing that while she was doing like serious stories and stuff, so she ended up going off on somebody once, and like she had to go to like a mental institution for a little bit, and like so like the premise of this one is like a cult, like basically talking about fear and how politics try to keep everybody scared and stuff like that. Yeah. So like it's a background story, but like she ends up going into the cult and shit like that. So that's why it's funny.
Damn,
but
that's crazy.
Watch it.
Yeah, I will. I've only seen like the first 2 seasons, 3 seasons or something like that.
I started watching it during the third one, and I had to go back because it was so good.
Nice. I like the witch one.
That's the one I started watching.
Yeah.
But I love Angela Bassett. She's one of my favorite actresses, honestly.
She's awesome.
And Sarah Paulson is amazing. Like, oh my god, like every season she gives me something different. Like, I love it. I
think they have a great cast.
They do. And who's that guy? I don't know his name. The weird guy that's in everyone. He's the weird one.
The younger looking guy.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he's good.
He's really good. He's really, really good. They have a great cast.
Yeah, they really do. So going back to comedy, right? So writing was definitely a hard thing for you to do. That's something like entrepreneurship is like, people don't really know what entrepreneurship brings to the table, like how much work is put into it. Is that kind of like the thing that you kind of found out about stand up? It's like you didn't really know how hard it was until you really got into it, but then you kind of like, you have to stick to it, right? If you want to be a stand-up comedian. So is that kind of what you're doing right now?
Yeah. When I first started doing it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do this and see who I can get in front of, and then I'm gonna blow up, and kind of like in the way that like social media sells you these dreams, like you can just viral video, you can be famous. But like, I never wanted to do that, for one, because that's so quick. Like, you're only as good as your last moment. You know what I'm saying? So like, stand up is like the art of comedy. Like, I feel like that's the basis of like, if you want to do entertainment, or like if you want to do something funny, stand up comedy is your basis. For one, that gives everybody who you are, tells everybody who you are, your premise. It gives you the platform to talk about your story and how you feel about certain things. So like, in a way, I feel like comedians are kind of like activists in a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to be that voice for somebody else. Because I feel like my story intertwines with maybe somebody else's out there, but they don't know that somebody else is out there like them. Yeah. I never had that role model, so I was like, okay, let me be the person that I've always wanted in my life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never had anyone like that.
So that's how I looked at people that I got certain things from, but they weren't necessarily my role model. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not watching everything that you do, but certain things, I like how you're treating everybody else, or how you're about your business, or you know what I'm saying? Like, certain little things. It's a gnat right here. Blah. But like, that's how I treated it. It was like, okay, I can be funny, but am I funny? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do I have something to say?
Not with comedy, but with the acting, I was like, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? And I kept it. It was like a goal list. And so like, okay, in 2 years I'm gonna do this, in 5 years I'm gonna do this, 10 years I'm gonna do this. I'm like, I'm not famous yet, so I gotta redo this. Then I started to find out how long it really takes, and the steps that I need to get there and stuff like that. So have you figured out like the kind of the steps, the guidelines, that you need to get to?
Yeah, I'm trying to take some professional courses, you know what I'm saying, to help build for when my performance, my stage presence and stuff. I think I'm a pretty confident person.
And then you're doing the social media thing too, so that's definitely part of it. Absolutely.
I feel like the podcast kind of helps me with like finding my voice, and like being on stage actually helps me be confident being in front of people. But like, I haven't really got to that part where I could just get up there and be unfiltered and not care what everybody thinks. So I still kind of care, not that much, but I care just a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I don't get up there and I don't stick to my material.
It's like you care, you don't care, at the same time.
I don't stick to my material because for when I don't feel like it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they don't laugh, sometimes you got to be okay with them not laughing because it worked before. But if they don't laugh, I'd be like, maybe I should just try something else, and I get nervous.
Gotcha.
So little things like that. I'm trying to fine tune that. Get into really, really writing more and fleshing out my stuff, because I really do want to get personal. It's kind of like it's kind of like my mentor is already ahead of me. I already know. I see myself already that comedian. I already know what I want to talk about. I just have to get there to be open up to talk about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like the amount of time when you start out, you don't have no time. So when you don't have any time, you just got to be short. Like, what do you want to say? What can I get your attention with? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to show people that, hey, I'm funny. You know what I'm saying? And then I want to talk about shit like my family. Like, it's a lot of shit that I want to talk about that I don't have the time or the platform right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my podcast, I try to use that as well as market myself as a personality dually and show that I'm creative as a writer and stuff. Because I write out my scripts, all my shit. I pick out all my songs. I pick out everything. So like, it's pushing me to be that planner, creative mind that I should have always been, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't really know what direction to take it in. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's when you have to like test things out. Just like I've been testing things out. Like, but when I started this whole Inspired Goods things, it was like 10 months ago or something like that. And the first 6-7 months, it was just me testing things out. I didn't know that I was testing things out.
Yeah.
I was just doing it to see if it worked. But looking back, yeah, it was.
But I'm pretty sure you're getting good looks, just like people are seeing it. People are seeing it and they're liking it. You have some good people on here. People that have worked with people that are like good stuff, like that lady with the improv.
Yeah, Jared Donovan.
And then you had the MMA guy on, and then you had that other guy seen outside, the Moonlight guy.
Estes Starber.
Yeah.
The owner.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hey, Oliver. He was like, oh, he's going to be back. I was like, oh, roll up the window. It was cloudy, so I couldn't see. I was like, hey, Oliver. All right.
That's funny.
He was laughing. That was funny. But
yeah. That's cool, though. You are, too. I mean, with the podcast. So tell everyone a little bit about your podcast, about what you do, what's going on in there.
The Culture Enthusiast podcast is an eclectic show that I try to take all my creative interests and put it into a show.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The Culture Enthusiast is oh, thank you, my glasses. You're on spot with that, man. And my glasses fall down, I can't breathe.
And then you
don't want me to die in the interview, like, I can't breathe. But like, the Culture Enthusiast is like a eclectic show, like a mashup of everything that I think is art. Culture is art. Culture is how we interact in society. Culture is just who I am. Culture is everything. So when I say the culture enthusiast, it means the culture lover. So if you love people, if you love music, if you love art, if you love comedy, I'm going to give you all that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it on a local basis, though, because I feel like it's people that are doing things locally that are big things that people don't even know about. Like, people only think about mainstream being the main way, but people don't know that there's talent right here. How do you think mainstream people get on mainstream? Because they had to start small first.
Yeah.
So I try to like give those people a platform. I try to highlight smaller businesses.
Do you go to like SparkCon Festival?
I did
to get like people and stuff.
I go to like I go to restaurants. I travel sometimes. Like I did like my first like little trip synopsis on my last. Was coming out. This would be my trip to DC. I spent like 36 hours in DC. I was like up. I went to the National Monuments. I just absorbed myself in a different city I'd never been. But I went by myself. It was cool as shit. I seen a lot of stuff.
What sparked you to do that?
It was your birthday. Yeah, it was my birthday, and like nobody wanted to go with me, and I'm trying to depend on people like to go, So it's like, why wait? If I wait, I'll never go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna ride the train up. I'm gonna go. Slept all the way there. Got there, like hit the foot running. Like I was like walking. I rode the bus first to get a feel for the city, see where everything was.
Yeah.
Walked to Georgetown. Walked my way back up to DC. And I seen like the monuments. I saw like people in general, like just how people. I got a chakra reading actually while I was there, which was cool.
Nice.
I went to the chakra room. Shout out to that lady. But she read my palms. I never had nothing like that done, and like I didn't tell her anything. She read my palms.
Yeah.
So
how accurate was it?
It was. Yeah, it was cool.
Pretty
I didn't say anything, and she knew some stuff, so that was crazy. I don't know if that was voodoo or not, but I was like, all right, lady. And she told me she wanted to charge me $250 for another reading. I was like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
It started off with $5, and that's how they get you. So I was like,
$5 to $250.
Yeah, she was like, I got a cleansing room you can go in. I was like, I just steam out in the sauna. But damn. I mean, the Culture Enthusiast is it's a platform that I use to entertain, inform, and motivate people. Like I feel like people need to be motivated enough and open up dialogue about certain things that people aren't talking about. I try to bridge the gap between millennials and creatives in the area, because for Raleigh to be such a creative, or North Carolina to be such a creative space, it's not a lot of cohesiveness between creative people.
That's true.
And
I've noticed that.
And everybody knows everybody, but they're not willing to work with each other. And I'm trying to
collaborate.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a story, so I want to give you a platform for one to tell your story, but also why are you doing your art? You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your art, so everybody else should appreciate your art as well. So I mean, that's why that was the premise of it, the whole thing.
That's very cool. And how's that coming along?
It's pretty good. I'm trying to be I feel like I kind of bit off a little bit more than I could chew at first, because I did start off with a co-host, and now I don't have a co-host anymore.
Right.
But I mean, I felt like I was more motivated for the project than she was, or whatever, or than the other person anyways, you know what I'm saying? So when I believe in it more, it's okay, I can just pick it up and go, because I'm already putting in more of the work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's growing. I'm trying to be
Yeah.
as eclectic as possible. So sometimes I feel like I'm getting redundant. I don't want to just be music. Cause I mean, I do love music and I like music to be the basis. I try to have new music every time I'm on a podcast.
Right.
But I don't want to be boxed in as just doing music. I try to have.
Yeah.
I got a foodie episode that's about to come out with a blogger from Triangle Food. Shout out to Alexis Rayner. And then I have the Ratchet Vegan, which is she's a black vegan, but she lives in Virginia. But she has modifies. She has like a popular page where she like modifies like recipes and stuff, and
cool.
people follow her. She has a good following, so I wanted to talk about, because I'm vegetarian and stuff, so I feel like that's a new thing, like lifestyle of health and stuff. Health is important. People don't talk about health, you know what I'm saying?
That's a big part.
You know, I had a comedy episode with some local comedians on. We did like some improvs, like type scenarios on there, and just try to like highlight certain things that people don't know about that are happening, and like not only talk about things that I like, but I want to eventually engage with the audience and like ask them what do they want to hear about, you know what I'm saying? Because I want it to be like an open show, but I mean right now I'm just trying to be diverse and inform and motivate. That's really the premise right now.
That's cool.
But
it never hurts to ask the audience what they want to hear. That's for sure.
Thank you for telling me about Anchor. That's cool. I used it for the first time. Yeah, I used it for the first time for like a call-in interview. So I think I'm gonna use that from now on for people that can't come.
Right.
I can call them in and
call them in.
I can post that interview on Anchor, but I can also have it recorded in the actual podcast.
And you could go and edit it.
Yeah, that's cool.
On the laptop form.
Oh yeah. I have.
So.
I'm working on getting my MacBook, but it's expensive.
It's pretty expensive. I hear you on that. That's cool. I really I enjoy your podcast, and
thanks.
I think you're gonna be great with it. I think you're gonna be great because you're still. How long have you done that for? Not long,
I'm
right?
only I started in April.
So
I'm at like
and
7
it's only
episodes
once
in.
a month.
It's every other. It's bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly?
It's supposed to be
Okay.
bi-weekly, but stuff is happening. Like if I'm working or comedy's kind of picking up a little bit for me, so I'm doing stuff, and so I can't really record like I want to. But I mean, I've have some things planned for it, and I'm also trying to work. What I learned about podcasts is that people don't listen all the time. They need that visual. So I'm working on getting visuals too, because the Culture Enthusiast is actually a brand that I'm building. The podcast is the first phase. This is give a platform of entertainment, kind of like information. But the second entity of it it's be 4 entities of it. It'll be the podcast. It'll be a website, which will be more foodie travel stuff, because I like to travel. Once I get start traveling, I'm highlight meals and restaurants I've been to, places you should go, concerts, et cetera, and I have an artist that kind of wants me to manage him and stuff. So I'm working on some things, but I'm not really managing him really. But I mean, right now I'm trying to just get him to be an artist, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just trying to do it.
Be in the community, because he's not in the community, but he's very talented.
Gotcha.
So I believe in that. And he actually came to me and was like, I believe in you. So I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my life, but sure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the reasons one of the big reasons why I wanted you on this show is because Inspired Goods Inspired Voices it's about the journey and the obstacles that you had to overcome. And so I thought you were a really good fit. And plus I'm
still unsure of myself.
That's fine. That's fine. But the fact that you're actually working on it,
I know,
is part of the process.
I think I have ADHD too. I know people are like, what the fuck? She's not even talking about. She's everywhere.
Is she asleep? I don't know.
I know, right? I haven't even done any drugs. This is my first sober interview, so this is great.
Nice.
Make turn over a new
Good
leaf.
so far.
You didn't roofie my water, did you? Some Molly in there.
That's cool. So where can people find you?
They can find me at _BEE original on Instagram. You can find me Brandi Roberts, BRANDI with the I Roberts on Facebook or whatever.
Gotcha.
But
and your podcast?
The Culture Enthusiast with a K.
With a K.
With a K.
There you
Know
go.
that. Oh, I got a business card.
What? You gonna flash it to the camera?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the camera for them because they can see everything. We got the show up for the babies.
Oh boy.
Superman on this right here. Yeah, TKE right there. You see that, baby? That's what the card look like right there. This ain't the official card, but it's gonna be a new one with a gold foil and stuff and all that. But yeah, the TKE is gonna be a 4-platform entity. The second phase will be the skits and stuff. I want to start doing skits and stuff and give people visuals, and I want to do personal interviews with businesses.
You should do skits on your podcast.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying.
Like audio skits.
Yeah, I'm trying. I feel like people need a visual. They're I like the response I'm getting with the audio, but people have a short attention span these days. So it's like you need to have that extra thing to engage them. I want that people to always refer back to the audio, but some people need that visual, you know what I'm saying? It'll be a clothing entity as well. I have a couple of designs I'm working on. Then the last phase will be a nonprofit for kids. That's the important thing that I eventually want to get my clout built up so where I can have people that everybody I've worked with to come back and give back to the kids.
Yeah.
So I feel like as a youth, I didn't have anybody to push me to do anything creative. So that's I want to make kids well rounded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Help them people find their niche, especially when you're growing up in like I don't know, minority. You have that. You're not really able to let go of your aggression, for one. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have anybody that you feel like that can listen to you, or your outlet rather.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very important for children, because that's why we have so much mental illness and stuff, because it's not treated, or you don't have the mentors or things that you should have to help shape you into that person that you should be.
Yeah.
The well-rounded, the person.
It's mostly about surviving.
Exactly. And I want to give that to you. I want to give that back to them. I want them to have a safe space where they can either grow in a niche that they like and build on that, or just have a place where they can feel safe and therapeutic and feel like they belong somewhere. That's the premise of it. That's where I really
So that's like the main goal, pretty much.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, I want my comedy to be a separate thing, but I mean, like, I've always wanted to do something for youth and something that I've never had. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, if I could be a role model for somebody, that's all that I really care about.
There you go. That's awesome. That's very cool. That's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up with the necklace?
Oh, yeah, my necklace. So at an event I went to, I was covering it for my podcast. They invited me as my first press media event. So that was cool.
Nice.
It was at the Poorhouse. It was called NC Spirit 17, which is featured episode 7. I have that recap with Rasta B and King Phil, which are really dope creatives in the Raleigh area right now.
Nice.
So they had like a festival with like a whole bunch of artists that are on the come up, and either in or around North Carolina. They have some small businesses that come did like some pop-up shops. So I went upstairs and they had like this place called Copper Vibrations. They're stationed in Greensboro. You should check them out. They have an Etsy website and they're great. They handmade this on the spot. Nice. So I got to pick out. They had like jewels on the table or whatever, and I went over and I was like, "Hey, how are you? You know whatever." They introduced themselves, of course, and she was like, "Would you like a reading?" And I said, "Sure." So she She asked me to put some stones in my hand to see like what my energy was.
Right.
And like at first I wasn't moving. She was like, "Wow, you're really well-rounded." And it was crazy because I had felt off balance. When I had felt off balance that whole time, because I had just lost my co-host and stuff. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like I was like, do I really want to do this solo? Because this is going to be a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Right. On top of whatever I'm already doing. But I went anyways. And so she was like, "Wow, you're really well-rounded," or whatever. And I picked up this. This is an Amazonite, and my hand dropped. And she was like, I was like, read what it means. It's really like it's a form of jade. So like it actually regulates the masculine and feminine energies.
Ah.
And it had to let that settle in. Yeah. But like that's crazy, right? And then like it regulates the heart and throat chakra, and I think that's important because I'm trying to be a performer, so I need to make sure both of those energies are in tune for me to go out and do what I'm supposed to do. It gives you peace, gives you confidence, and I also got I don't have the ring on now, but I have amethyst as well, which builds your intuition, opens the third eye, gives you peace, tranquility. Yeah. So
I do some hypnosis sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. And
sing it to the floor.
And so I did hypnosis for the chakras and realigned my all of my chakras.
Wow.
And
I'm trying to get into that.
I just felt such a balance after I did it. I was like, felt so much better.
Do you meditate?
Sometimes.
I'm trying to get into that, but I just time right now. You know, you feel like you got to go. So
yeah.
So I'm trying.
But even
to
like
slow
5
down.
minutes is like fine for meditation.
I want to show you this book that I have. Oh man. I think you'll like it. It's called The Motivation Manifesto. I actually got it for free off of this. It was like, this is the Art Institute. I actually got into the Art Institute, so maybe if my money gets right, I'll go. But I actually got accepted in there. I got accepted there already for like video.
This is not a promotion for the Art Institute.
I know, right? This is not. We don't condone. We're not promoting them, but it came out with a book. So, but yeah, this book is really good. Like it talks about like 9 declarations to claim your personal power.
Yeah.
And it talks about like what is motivation, what is fear, it breaks that down for you first. And then it breaks down the 9 things that you should work on. Like talks about the 7 temptations and temptations. Like I didn't know that they were desperation. You know, people do things when they're desperate. You know, you think about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think about it like that, though. Like, you need to be, it's a lot of things that should be aligned for you to be successful. Yeah. And it breaks it down. I don't try to go through this book really fast because I try to absorb the principles. And I read a part of it every day. I might reread something that I've already read.
And learn something new.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yep. So, like, I probably read this book every day for the rest of my life. Like, every day. Something in it.
You'll always learn something because your brain can only take so much information.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But sometimes you only need that one thing anyways. You don't want to overload yourself and work on too many things at once because then you lose it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah.
When did you get spiritual? Have you always been like that, or is that?
I've always, growing up in a Christian like family. You know what I'm saying? Like you learn about spirituality and you learn about a higher power. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, it's like okay. Then I started reading about like, I don't agree with the white Jesus thing, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was fake. Like, I always felt weird being in a black church, but it was white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just never made any sense to me. Like, at least make him black. You know what I'm saying? And like, you go back. It's like, what? Like, what are y'all saying here? But, and then it's like, okay. And then I seen this corruption in Christianity. And then like, it's like, And like not only like seeing it on a personal level, it's like okay, you guys really aren't perfect, but you're trying to paint a perfect picture. I can't agree with that.
I feel like what I feel like. I feel like spirituality is like the basis of the religions. Yeah, it's the basis of it, and that's all you need.
I mean, everybody, like Sam Smith said, everybody prays. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you talking to whatever.
Damn, Sam Smith. You mean the singer?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He got a good song. I love him. He lost a lot of weight too, but that's not important. But he has a song called "Pray." But I mean, spirituality to me is just being in tune with yourself, your purpose, your divine energy, who you want to be as a person. Do you want to be a positive person? Do you want to be a negative person? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to? What is your purpose? Do you want to give back? Do or you want to be a leader? You want to be a follower? Do you want to be a creative? Do you want to
and whatever you choose,
assimilate?
You should be happy with.
Exactly. Because I mean, spirituality at the end of the day comes back to love. You know what I'm saying? Like if you love you
this
love
world
everybody
is
else.
Based on love.
Exactly.
We make decisions based off love.
It's hard though. It's a daily journey. You have to get up and I love me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't love yourself, I love me. You know what I'm saying? It took me a long time to get there. Now, I mean, every day it's a working thing. But
and I think that the people that, the thing that people make a mistake of is they could say that they love themselves and stuff like that, but if their inner thought is not agreeing with it, then it's not going to make a difference. We have to. That's why I do hypnosis.
We got it. You didn't get it.
No, I didn't. That's why I do hypnosis because it trains.
Ghostbusters.
It trains the inner thought. It trains your subconscious. So that's what people have to train in order for them to really understand gratitude or the things that they want to learn.
Talks about that in here. The path to gratitude.
Gratitude is the first step.
Because there's a difference between happiness and joy.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
but like there is, thank you, Brandon. But nah, like there's a difference though. You have to actually get up every day and be like, okay, I'm grateful to be here. You know what I'm saying? It's a section in here that it's like a personal affirmations book. You read it and it's a part that says we are blessed. What's that?
It's my gratitude rock.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you do? Like rub it and be like, I'm thankful for it.
Well, I don't hum or anything. So every day in the morning, I put it in my pocket. Before I put it in my pocket, I say something that I'm grateful for. But I just don't say it. I really feel it. And I feel it to the point that I am smiling. And I can't stop smiling. No matter how much I force myself not to smile, that's what happens. And then I put it in my pocket. And at the end of the day, I take out the rock again at nighttime. And I say something I'm grateful for.
You are going to make me read this because I feel like this is going to be a great thing to just... I guess end this thing on. I guess I don't know.
Right.
You're probably gonna cut it off. You're gonna chop it up how you want to, right?
Probably everything's gonna be said.
Oh yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, it says so. It gives you these things you should say this every day. Let me be appreciative and thankful each day. Let me be thankful for the light that surrounds me. Let me be thankful to any caregivers who inspire me. Let me be thankful to my lover who overlooks my shortcomings. Let me be thankful to the women and men who risk their lives to protect my freedoms. Let me be thankful for the blue tint of the sky and the beauty of our natural world. Let me be thankful for the heart that drums life through me. Let me be thankful for last night's rest, no matter its length. Let me be thankful for my gifts of free will, of volition, and endurance. Let me be thankful to my mentors and to the traders who also instructed me. Now, that's powerful right there. It's a good thing, and you can talk about bad things as well. Let me be thankful that I'm not living in deeper need and squalor. Because sometimes we get surrounded about, I know sometimes I always think about my condition. I wish I had it right now. But if I had it right now, I probably wouldn't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would fuck it up.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I am where I am because that's going to make me appreciate it later. Let me be thankful for my home, for my daily bread, and for my clean water. That's 3 things that people don't even have every day. You know what I'm saying? Let me be thankful for the opportunity to work and create and earn. Let me be thankful for the luck that has advanced me and the disasters and tribulations that have educated me. Let me be thankful for the blank slate that comes with each morning. That's something that I'm thankful for every day. That new morning, you don't think about it like that.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, I worried about yesterday, but nah, this is a new day. You have a whole new, what are you going to do with those days?
Exactly.
And then let me be thankful for my breath and the clean moment at hand. And let me be thankful to my creator. So those are the things I try to read every day that sets me in that tone like, okay, today's a new day. Whatever happened yesterday, whatever happened last night, how I felt, whatever, it's new.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What am I going to do? Because it's all going to work together to be for the purpose at the end. So when I get to my destination, I'm like, oh, okay, the bad made sense and the good made sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's going to mold me to be what I need to be.
Yeah. And there's always a positive to a negative.
Absolutely. It wouldn't
No
be
matter
life.
Exactly. It could be, someone got murdered or something like that. You don't see the positive in that, but you do see that there is a definitely positive you might not know right away. It might take years, but there is a positive to it. It shaped you when your mom died.
Me.
Yeah.
When I get sexy though, when
I put on that lingerie,
oh man, I hate thongs. Thongs are bad.
And we'll end it there. Thanks for being a part of it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hopefully you got some good shit in there. I'm just I got ADHD. I've never been diagnosed or anything.
Me neither.
But when I stutter, though, my mind is it's like my mind is like.
Yeah.
I'm like.
I felt it when you came in. It was like fucking lab rat over here.